Welcome to this very special episode of Listen to This Bull. My name is Matt Mulholland. That is Remington Huggins. And we are your hosts to talk about the bill in Georgia, House Bill 1310. We've got Jennifer Campbell, who has been kicking ass and taking names when it comes to this bill for some time now. We're going to talk to everybody about this because we are stoked and excited about it. I don't want to spoil the fun and tell the story. Jen, can you give us a synopsis of what's happened so far, and then we'll get into the bill?
Yeah. So, we kind of know that Georgia doesn't really have anything for consumer protection or, a different form of dispute resolution except for, going to litigation. And what we've seen over the last couple of years is that the insurance claims process has just gotten harder and harder and harder. So Matt Hunter, he took that Louisiana bill 591 and he kind of mimicked what he thought that it should be for Georgia. And we have just been reaching out to different representatives and senators and House members. And I think the craziest thing is that, I guess that a lot of people think that maybe that they're special. I'm not saying that they're not, but that we put them on this big pedestal and people don't think that we can really invoke any kind of change. But not only are we changing things, we've had a lot of supporters. So when that bill dropped today, we had 16 co-sponsors, which is like unheard of. But somebody asked me that today, like how did that happen? How would you get 16? And I said, well, you grow up in a home. You live in a home. Your mom has a home. Your home is so special. Everything about you growing up and your sisters and your friends, it's going to someone's house. It's your home. So I think that for homeowners, insurance property or whether you have
5 weeks from last knee surgery, I flew to Hawaii and walked all over the island.
Did you?
Okay. Okay.
I just want to say that was so the American Policyholders Association is holding a meeting at the same time, and they're wanting me just to jump in for 3 minutes and explain what this bill does and hitting the 3 main points. So
I'll kick you
that
out.
was all my fault. And I apologize about that. We're spreading the word. We're spreading the word. So how about this? Mr. Doug Quinn asked me he said I can do mine really quick and then
come back in when you're ready. Yep.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, Georgia's been interesting up until this point. So for the last several years, we've been dealing with a state that doesn't really do its policyholders any favors. If you end up having a loss on your home in the state of Georgia, you might be stuck in a situation where you don't have any leverage against the insurance companies that have billions of dollars. We used to have some kind of dispute resolution available to us, and it was killed with some bad case law. And that was really the minimum that we had. And since then, we've then made it much more difficult for you to get a resolution through complaints with the Department of Insurance. And you may even be in a position where you can hire a public adjuster, you can hire an attorney, but will you have enough money at the end of the road to be able to make repairs without having some baseline, very minimal things that every other state has? You might be in a position where you can't protect your home anymore. And that's where we're at now. So this bill has been presented, and for everybody that's listening, it has 16 different sponsors in the House of Representatives. I want you to know just how ridiculous of a number that is. On the page where someone signs off that they are sponsoring a bill, there's 5 slots. There were so many people that signed this that it went off the page. I thought that was amazing. So congratulations to Jen Campbell, to Remington Huggins, to Matt Hunter, to the team at Gapia, to anybody else that's been pushing this thing. Hell, even my students at NCI helped with a piece of it yesterday. It was pretty awesome. So I got a lot of people involved. We need more people to get involved to make this a reality. So, Jen,
Yeah.
Just so that we don't make this so long that they don't pay attention, because we lose viewership at some point real quick. What is it that someone can do if they want to help push this?
There's only one thing you can do. It is, we have a link set up. All you need to do is reach out to your local representative. In fact, we have a link that all you have to do is you click the link. It brings you right to your representative when you put in your address. And we have several different talking points, whether it's for a contractor, a public adjuster, or a homeowner. Just making it very simple. Our slogan is yes for protect my home, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give homeowners a way to protect them. And this is really, it really is a consumer bill, but it doesn't just help PAs. This actually helps contractors. It helps you guys to be able to get claims through without necessarily having to hire a PA or having to get the attorney. Not every case needs to be like that, and that's what it's turned into in Georgia. So you have to send an email to your local representative. If you know any of them personally, you have to make that phone call. That's the only way. They have told us to our blue in the face that this would never even get a bill number. Never. Like, absolutely no way. It was so far-fetched and we were wasting our time, but we did it. And we did it with 16 co-sponsors. So, you know,
it's an enormous achievement so far, but we are in no means at the end of the road. It still has to pass the subcommittee to hit the floor, and then it has to pass the House just to become a Senate bill and go through that whole process all over again. So it became a bill today, but we need everyone to reach out to their representatives to let them know that they should be voting yes for House Bill 1310.
It's so crazy you saying that out loud, that we have a House bill.
I know, it's awesome. So let's talk about what's in this thing. Right away on House Bill 1310, there's really major components, maybe 3, possibly 4 major components. Let me set the stage here as far as the appraisal language goes, because this does set appraisal language differently into the standard fire policy. The appraisal language sets very specifically that you are to set the amount of loss. In Georgia, there was a case that went to the appellate court, and they determined that the term amount of loss doesn't include scope. And they didn't say whether that was scope of damages or scope of work, scope of repairs, scope of anything. They just said scope. In order to determine the amount of loss, you need to know what your scope of loss, scope of repairs is. So it doesn't really make sense that they took scope out. In practice, what that has meant is that if you have one line item different between what you are saying your loss is worth and what they are saying your loss is worth, one line item could be something simple like a piece of flashing, 1 foot of flashing. They could say, no, that's not appraisable. Even though you and we disagree on the amount of loss, we're not appraising anything, and they could deny the appraisal process. This bill brings that back by also requiring that the appraisers determine the extent of damage resulting from the claim. The scope of loss and extent of damage resulting from the claim or occurrence giving rise to the appraisal, as well as determine the repair cost, replacement cost, and loss in value of the property.
Good language there.
It's very good language, and that brings scope that almost every other state in the nation has the luxury of appraising back into Georgia, bringing us back to a baseline. I think it's incredible. Anything else to add on appraisal?
No, I just I only was able to go for appraisal for probably like a year after I became a PA, and I got to see how powerful it was when you were having, when you know, if someone's going to be able to bag your groceries, you know, today and then adjust your claim tomorrow, and then we can't get past what they did. Appraisal was a really good way, not for a winning and a losing side, but for you to resolve the dispute. So it was much easier than these months-long arguments with adjusters that really don't know what they're doing.
If you can put in writing what your dispute is, in Georgia, they could just say no, and the only thing that you could do up until this bill passes is the only thing you could do is sue. And you could sue, and you're probably not going to get your attorney's fees paid. So you're going to come out of pocket for your attorney's fees. And now you're going to even if you win, you're going to be offered settlements outside of court. Might be a year or 2 years down the road. You're in a position in the state of Georgia right now that you might have to hire an attorney just to gain the benefits of your policy because there wasn't any other possible dispute resolution built into it because of that bad case law. This sets that straight. Now, scope of damages, scope of repairs is appraisable, which means if you disagree with how much the insurance company is saying that your loss is worth, you have a separate option than suit. Now you can demand appraisal. Appraisal costs a lot less, takes a lot less time, and is a fair resolution. You have complete third parties determining how much your loss is worth now, instead of the parties that are party to the money. The insurance company wants to hold back as much money as possible. They're for profit. Of course, they're going to want to pay less. But if there's a third party saying how much that's worth on their end, you can be in a position where you have a much more fair settlement, much more fair determination on how much your loss is worth. This is a good way for you to protect your property. How much money does a house cost these days? Right? You finally got yourself into a house. Your family is there. You've made a home out of it. Something happens. Now what? In Georgia, you might have to sue and wait years to get any kind of settlement out. Vote yes for this bill, and there is alternative dispute resolution available, again, the way it is everywhere else.
I can't even. It's a lot of people think too that are in this industry that maybe we're just talking about a roof, right? We're not talking about just a roof claim that takes 2 years to settle. Some claims, they have a fire or a big water loss. They can't live in their home. They're left out, or they're having to pay for their ALE or paying for a different home while paying for their mortgage, while paying for their insurance, and still can't get something resolved. And then let's say we do get an attorney, because we don't have that fee shifting. They don't have, different laws here in Georgia. You have to pay for the attorney, pay to get your house fixed. And that's if you win. I mean, that's the process now in Georgia has gotten so wonky that, anything in Georgia, getting anything through Georgia is going to be a positive.
I agree. This is the biggest part of the bill is tied to this appraisal language, which just brings you to the point where you've got a little bit of leverage back as a policyholder in Georgia. Well, let's talk about some of the other things that are in this. It prevents an insurance company from forcing you to use a specific contractor. I once had a claim with, it was an agent's house, and the insurance company that they were selling policies for used a preferred vendor on their home for a claim that they had 3 years prior. And we were out there and there was leaks everywhere because that preferred vendor removed flashing and never installed flashing again. It took 3 years for it to start coming through because that's how long it took for all the caulk that they used to finally wear out. If you have the ability to choose who performs the work on your home, then you have control over the quality of the work being done. I think that's powerful.
No, it's powerful, and what we're seeing that more and more in the field because the insurance company is saying, well, we'll send out, Joe Schmo roofing or restoration. They come out, they do the work. The homeowner really never knows that they even have the ability to pick somebody else, and that's what we're saying in the bill. We want them to know that they don't have to use that preferred vendor. And then I'm not going to say every time, but more than 90% of the time, the people that are these preferred vendors, I'll ask them, I'm like, hey, you didn't do this or you didn't add this. And they said, well, that's not in the scope of work. I'm like, I have to tell them, well, you're the expert. You're doing the work. You need. I can't. If I do that, State Farm may not send me any more claims, which is not.
Yeah, ultimately, the question becomes, if they are going to force you to use their vendor, then they have control over what is being performed. Imagine a financial product company determining the quality of work that is being performed on your home, and it's their money that they're talking about using, of course, there's going to be shortcuts used. A contractor is required to abide by minimum code, but if somebody else is telling them what steps to perform that isn't qualified to make that determination, do you think that that is going to be adhered to properly? Maybe not.
Right.
There's a different onus there, though. The contractor should hold the liability for this work. That would force them to do a proper job. You having the ability to choose who your contractor is, and you might still choose the preferred vendor, but you don't want to be forced into using that contractor.
That's right. So the bill just says basically that you have to let the insured know. You can't just, try to push it or assume it. Your agent can't just hire them for you. You have to let them know that you don't have to use this preferred vendor, which right now they're not doing that. A lot of people are saying they didn't know. They signed these different agreements, and that's why this has gotten so big. And again, it models the Louisiana 591. So, there's a big need for it.
There really is. Other stuff that's in this, we've got a requirement to include general contractors' overhead and profit if it is reasonably likely or foreseeable that a general contractor would actually be used. I think this is vitally important. It definitely helps in states where this is already the law. It puts you in a position where you can actually hire a general contractor instead of fighting to get the fees that a general contractor is going to charge you in order to use them. If you can't hire a general contractor, are you going to be the one that's juggling all the different trades and making sure that everybody's there when they need to be? And if there's communication between this subcontractor and this labor crew, and they're not the same company and they're not talking to each other, are you going to be the middleman as a homeowner? Are you going to be able to use the right terminology and jargon to describe and communicate what this one needs this one to do? Or would you prefer to hire a GC that knows how to handle that? This puts the insurance carrier in a position where they are required to pay that if it's likely that a GC would be used.
And we wanted to say not, because, they say now it's 3 trades, but the big thing we were coming up with is whether it's a single trade, if I'm a 70-year-old woman or I'm not in town and I can't do all that, I need to know that someone can come in there and manage it. So again, it's not even, we want to make it sure that we're not looking at trades. We're saying in any situation, that's why it's specified reasonable procedure. In any situation, if you have to hire someone to manage that job, they will pay the O&P.
And if they're calculating actual cash value payments, this bill also forces them to use that GC O&P to start it off. Take the replacement cost amount, including the overhead and profit of a general contractor, if it's likely they're going to get used, and then they subtract depreciation from that instead of starting without the overhead and profit, subtracting depreciation. That means that the ACV payment will have the general contractor's overhead and profit portion built into it. That is a very important aspect of this as well. Shall we get into some of the other goodies like uniform appearance?
I think that most contractors, when they hear that, they get the most excited for sure.
I know they do. This is something that in states where there is some kind of matching or uniform appearance laws, it has benefited the policyholders greatly. Imagine you're in a situation where something goes wrong to the exterior of your home. We talk about roof so often on this show because there's so many roof claims. Let's talk about roof for this. If you end up with damage to your roof and a patchwork repair is what is paid for, that could bring the value of your home down because it's going to look patched. There's such a thing as curb appeal, but you might not know this. Insurance carriers have written out the financial loss of that curb appeal. They no longer pay for a diminution of value. It's written out of most policies. So can they be allowed to put you in a position where you're losing that value even though they don't cover it? That doesn't meet the principles of indemnification. I don't think they can. If you've got patchwork on your home, what happens to the value of the whole neighborhood? It could look like a rundown neighborhood, or your neighbor's going to be very thrilled with you. This is a situation.
We have got two different, I can't really announce them yet until tomorrow, but we have two different credit unions. One specifically deals with a lot of mortgages in Georgia that are backing the bill just off of that, that of it, because home values, they say, what they explain to us is that some people may not see the decline this past year because of all the homes that are being sold, but they have already noticed that their, homes are having more and more issues on the inspection report. Now people aren't caring, but it is going to have an issue when we go back and for assessment and paying taxes at the end of the year. The values will drop, and that actually is going to start affecting them more and more. So that's why they've signed up to support it.
I think that's awesome. I didn't know about that until just now. That's really cool. All right, so I think the last thing to go over in this bill has to do with consequential damages. This is something that's fairly near and dear to my heart. Insurance companies do pay for direct physical loss, but what they don't tell you is that actually includes consequential damages, and often they just ignore that part and rely on your assumptions of what that actually means. Now it could be codified.
You taught me this. You taught me consequential damage, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I did?
This is his specialty. This is his specialty, seriously.
And you taught it to me.
So this bill proposes language that says if a loss requires repair or replacement of an item or part, any consequential physical damage incurred in making such repair or replacement not otherwise excluded by the policy shall be included in the loss. It's something that's already in your policy, but because it'll be codified, it'll be a lot harder for them to misinterpret their policy accidentally and underpay the claim. I think it's fantastic. It should be there. It isn't something that's going to add any coverage, but it's definitely going to keep them from being able to take it away. This is vital. I love this language.
Well, we keep getting told how this bill, even our main sponsor is Emory Donahue. He's with the 30th District. He, when he read it, he's like, "But Jen, this is common sense." I'm like, I said that. And so a lot of people keep reading this and they're like, well, this is already in the policy, or we have to explain to them that this is no different. But they're almost like, but I don't understand why it just seemed too easy for them. And then we have to explain all that bad behavior. So, pretty much how we won them over. So
absolutely. So I'm excited about this. There's a lot that this could do. I know this is a Georgia bill. I know that we've got some people that are watching this right now live that aren't in Georgia. This is Georgia bill. But if this does pass, and with your help, that can happen. If this does pass, then one of the atrocities being pushed nationwide regarding appraisal language and removing scope as part of the amount of loss can be killed in the state that it kind of started in. I think that can make a huge difference for other states that are starting to feel the pressure from insurance carriers denying appraisal, even though they don't have that case law, for the exact same reason that we have appraisal denied every single day here. I'm hoping that this can show to the nation that, yeah, we got that one wrong. You guys don't need to make the same mistake. Right?
Well, one big thing I wanted to say, I've already learned this from last year. And of course, we had a lot of people that were saying it wasn't possible. But I'd really like to challenge Remington to see what he's seen since being down at the Capitol with me and communicating with all these different guys. Like, can you share that experience and how it's, kind of, I guess, giving you hope to keep pushing?
Absolutely. First off, I just want to say I am very, very happy about what has happened. It's something that it just, being in the profession, being in the grind every day, and in dealing what we're dealing with, and having something like this be a possibility is just, it's monumental for the state of Georgia. It truly is for policyholders across the entire state. And I realized that it was a possibility when Jen, Matt Hunter, some of the other key players asked me to really get involved and like physically boots on the ground get involved. I went to the Capitol. We've been to the Capitol. Me and Jen have been in multiple meetings, dinners, and I realized that this is 100% an ascertainable goal, that we can do this. And there's only one way to do it, and that's to have the support and reach out to these House representatives from each district in the state of Georgia to really contact them. You have to do this, and to get them on your side during this election year to vote for a consumer bill. It's that simple. That's what you have to do. And it being an election year, it's the time for these House reps to be on the consumer side. But Jen, I can't tell you these listeners, and I'm not saying this because she's here. I'm saying it because she was an absolute rock star. She trailblazer, and she wasn't taking no for an answer. And she got the foot in the door in the Capitol, and look what's happened. Now we have House Bill 1310. And I can't be more proud of her and Hunter and Matt. You've been fighting this fight too. You were the president of GAPIA last year. I mean, this is the snowball effect of everybody pushing it. But I'm telling you, it's really opened my eyes, because sometimes when you think about bills and you think about legislation, you immediately go to who's got the deep pockets, they're going to win. I can tell you this, we have a chance to win. And it's because of the power of the consumer, the power of the homeowners, and the power of our industry connecting with these House reps and getting these votes. And it's a very, very special time for us. But it's just the beginning. We need to keep on pushing. Jen, hats off, seriously. That's what I wanted. I don't think he's ever taken his hat off on listening to this bull. And I've been doing this with him for a year.
Well, you saw why. Look at that hair.
That's just what I wanted to say. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Guys, let's do this. I'm very motivated, very happy, very excited. So it's cool stuff.
So this is it. So we're in a position where we need the votes. We've got a bill. That was hurdle number 1. That was a big hurdle, but it was hurdle number 1. Now we need you to actually call your reps. If you're watching this, if you're getting this from someone and you know anybody that lives in Georgia, contractor, policyholder, public adjuster, attorney, if you know someone that lives in Georgia, send them this video and then make sure they watch this part right here. Call your rep. It's not scary. All you have to do is call and say, I want to talk to somebody. How do these phone calls go, Jen?
A lot of them, it's actually their personal phone number. Hello. Hi. Can I share with you something that's going on? Sure. This is it. You know what? I've had something very similar. Let me talk to you about myself. Okay. That's really how they go. They're just like you and I. But they don't have the answers. They get paid $15,000 a year to work a short amount of time. They need us to bring them the resolutions to issues. And that's what we need to do. Now they just need to hear from us.
You're going to call and you're going to say, hey, I live in your district. Mm-hmm. I do this for my clients, or I own a home and I see so many people getting hurt by their insurance company, underpaying claims, what have you. Right now, there is a bill that can help protect my home. It's House Bill 1310.
I can't even get over you saying that. I'm so excited. Oh, yes. Okay.
Please vote yes for that. That's all we need you to do. Can you do that? Can you spend 5 minutes doing that? All of you.
I love it. And I want to say this because I want people to understand this portion of it. This is behind the scenes stuff, and I'm not afraid to say it. there are some major insurance companies. I'm talking, if you think about an insurance company, we're talking about the top dogs, the top three, where we were actually trying to negotiate with them to formulate some language in the bill. These top insurance companies told their attorneys to stop talking to us about the bill. That's how, I'm telling you, this is how powerful this is, that they're getting scared of this. And I'm not going to name insurance companies or anything like that, but I just want to let you know there's a lot behind the scenes that occurred to get us to this point right now. And I'm super excited. 1310. I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket tonight. So
no, Remington, don't do that. We need the luck for the bill.
There you go.
You can put off being rich. That's not cool.
Listen, I just do, if anybody, and I say this in the nicest way, but so many people have been complaining about all these things. We all know that they're wrong, but if you don't take that 5 minutes that Matt's talking about, you have no room to complain, because we set it up so good for everybody in Georgia to have a voice. Like, now is the time. If you ever had a complaint and anything, it's your platform. Every Georgia resident is your platform now. And this team, it's Matt Hunter, it's Remington, it's Tim, we just want this so bad, and we finally gave you the opportunity. If you don't take it, then you'll never have
Guys,
I would be remiss if we didn't mention the support that GAPIA is giving to this bill as well. All three of us are on the board of GAPIA. I'm the past president. Jennifer is leading up the committee for this with plenty of members from GAPIA. There is a lot being pushed there on that side. I don't want to get through this without mentioning how great GAPIA has been in pushing a lot of this as well. So
hours and hours and emails and
so much.
100% agree.
Takes everyone. So
100% agree. And if we didn't, I kind of came on GAPIA, they read the bill and they backed it. They said, let's do it. Let's go.
Instantly.
Yep.
Instantly.
So it wasn't a hesitation. So hats off to GAPIA and the board members and all the members of GAPIA. So, hey, I'm with Jen. I'm going to say it again. Contact your House representative. If you don't know how to get in touch with your exact House rep, go to my Facebook page, go to Jen's Facebook page, go to Matt Mulholland's Facebook page. There's going to be a link. There's already one there for mine. You click on it, you put your zip code in it, and it tells you exactly who you need to contact. It gives you their phone number. It gives you their email address. Pick up the phone and call them. Okay.
If you know someone that lives in Georgia, tag them right now in this video. Don't wait any longer.
We got to get the votes.
Now I'm looking for that link so I can post it in the comments here.
I posted it in the private chat there, Matt.
You did? Oh, yep.
It's got. I mean, it is that simple. And if you're like, well, what do I say? There are several templates. Whether you're, like I said, a PA, a contractor, or a homeowner, what we want them to say. It's vote yes to protect my home. But House Bill 1310, and reach out if you seriously don't know what to do either. And you're like, I don't know. My phone number, Jennifer Campbell. You can come to me. I will help you. I have dedicated all my time. I will be at the Capitol Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, just making sure I don't miss any appointments. So I want to help.
Should we name any specific reps that have House representatives that have helped out with this? I think that it deserves some credit here.
Yeah, let's do it. We should. Our first sponsor, I'll tell you what, he is in the Freedom Caucus. He is not even on the insurance subcommittee. Emery Donahue has just decided that this is not right. He's seen it firsthand. And what Remington said about these big dogs, and these carriers, when they put pressure on Emery, all he needed to see was that it wasn't about, oh, this was going to be bad for Georgia. It was about saving that bottom dollar. And Emery has stuck with us, and he has kept every word he said he was going to do. And although he took a lot of pressure, he has pushed right through. So our sponsor is rock solid, and he will be at the spring conference, GAPIA conference.
That's great. 16 is a huge number.
I was gonna say, did you guys mention that yet? Because I was over there at the APA for a second, but last year there was a bill on public adjusting and so forth. There was 4 co-sponsors, and this one had 4. This one had 16. Okay, that one last year got passed, but I'm not saying you can't let off the gas. We're going against the Giants, guys. You got to call.
Tag people that live in Georgia in this right now. Send links. This is in YouTube, on YouTube / Listen to This Bull. It's on the Listen to This Bull Facebook page. I'm going to send the video to Jen and Remington, and they can post it wherever it is they can. You will be able to send this to a lot of people. Send it to everyone you know. We just need to make one phone call. If they can't just make one phone call, then maybe don't send them the link, because that's just a waste of your time too. Make everyone make a phone. It's a phone call, one phone call. I want to see people's phones blow up. I hope that their representatives that have their cell phone number there have to change their number. So many of us are calling to get them to vote yes. I really want to hear from you guys say, I called my representative. He said, I'm going to sign it. All right. I'm going to say yes. Please leave me alone. What is wrong with you people? That's what I want to see. Can that happen? Can we make that happen? I think we can.
Let's do it.
Juliana McConnell, she is loved by so many people. And she said, that's what she said. She said, Jen, she just had a nursing bill passed. They took 10 years to get a hearing. It took them that full time. They couldn't get the bill dropped, could not get a hearing. They finally got it. And when they walked out of that vote, they said, okay, now we get it. Please stop with the emails and the phone calls. We understand. We'll vote yes. But it did take that. Think about it. It's just the way it is now with carriers. We have to bug the crap out of them for them to respond. So it's the same thing. And whether you do that phone call or you're sitting on the toilet and you just send an email and say, I vote yes, vote House Bill 1310, it's just that.
That's fantastic.
How many emails do you send on the toilet every day?
Too many. I don't know.
Oh my God.
There's a dedicated toilet computer in Jen's house for sure.
Well, when you have kids and dogs and you get no time to yourself,
it's a hidey hole. It's a hidey hole.
I've been involved in thousands of claims. We did a count, and it's thousands. And since I've been in this industry, this is the first time where we can actually make a real change. This is it. And I've been in this industry for a long time, and I've shook a lot of hands, guys. I'm telling you, this is the time to do this. And I just make the phone call, just do it. Seriously.
There isn't a better time. It's an election year. So legislators want to get reelected. That means they need to make something that helps their constituents. 2, there's been major insurance carrier suddenly not paying claims. And that's made a lot of people call the representative already with complaints. We actually have representatives that have told us that some people are complaining about property insurance and not health insurance. This is the only time this has a chance ever. We have to make this happen. A 5-minute phone call. That's all we need. And send this to everyone you know.
Can't say it any better. My dad is out of the country sitting on the beach, and I made him call his house rep today. Like, you're on vacation. I don't care. You're calling your Gainesville house rep right now. He's like, okay, done. I mean,
that's
just
perfect. Yeah.
Call your family. Do it. Spread the word.
This is House Bill 1310. Bam. 1310. There's a number. That's number. House Bill 1310. I think we can do this, guys. Georgia can finally come together and make something happen. We got this. Any final comments?
No, I don't know. It's just so good to see. I'm such a baby. It's just so good to see that we you know, and it's not just this year. I mean, we're building so much support that in years to come, if we keep this up and we keep building those relationships, guys, we're not only protecting Georgia insurers, we're protecting our industry. We're protecting ourselves from bad legislation. We're just one bad bill from taking away our profession. So, you're not calling just for the bill, of course. You'd be surprised. They're going to be reaching back out to you too and needing help on other projects. The relationships you're building here are just unmatched. But I just saw that you put up 1310, and it's just you can ask Remington. We've been on the phone pacing back and forth, waiting on a phone number, just sweating it out because it's just been a lot of work. So it's just I know it's the first real big step, and it took a lot of work to get there, but it's happening. So
I'm so proud of everyone involved. This is so cool.
That's what I was going to say, Matt. That was just my finishing words. Is I'm so proud of Jennifer. I'm so proud of Matt. I'm so proud of everybody, every individual that was involved. I'm so proud of Gappio for backing the bill. That's just all I have to say. I'm so proud. And hey, last time I'll say it. Call your House representative, and that's all I'll say.
Do it. Don't chicken out. We need you.
And if you need help, again, call me, call Matt Hunter. We've got you. We've got your help. So
that was the best sign off ever, Jen. You ruined it. God.